Which I want to talk about is a potential plan when it comes to our summer transfer window and how we will approach this summer's transfer window, which is going to be crucial when it comes to actually potentially trying to compete for the league next season. Everything lays, the base of everything will lay on our summer transfer market. And I kind of have an idea of how Thiago Pinto and Mourinho will approach this summer window, and I'm going to discuss it today. But I also want to give a few words and speak about Roma being interested and having opened their eyes up to sign Retegui, the guy who scored yesterday in the Italian national team. So we're going to give a few words on that. And then overall, at the end of the stream, I also want to give a little summary of our April schedule. What games we're expecting, how many games we're playing in April, and just the importance of April as a month. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. The window, the summer window. What do I expect? What is my plan not what I expect from this window. What do I think will be the plan of this summer transfer window according to Thiago Pinto? Now, I personally think there will be a fixed budget. There will be a fixed budget which will obviously oscillate if we were to get Champions League football or not. We have this fixed budget, and with this fixed budget, regarding of being higher if we get in the Champions League or lower if we don't get in the Champions League, with this budget, we will sign players. We will sign players. Mourinho will ask for some players. Mourinho will understand that he cannot ask the biggest of players, but Thiago Pinto will try his best to satisfy Mourinho's demands. Then there will be players which will sell. And we're going to talk about players which could potentially leave the club in a second, because I think it's part of this discussion speaking about a summer plan. And let's start with this. I think to also try and higher the budget, because you see, we'll have a fixed budget. And let's say we get Champions League football, that budget will increase. And let's say we sell some players, that budget will ultimately increase. We will have a good budget to rotate our transfer window around. So, players which could increase the budget when it comes to selling, I personally think a big player, at least one big player, will be sacrificed this summer. I am pretty convinced. In fact, it's not even a matter of being convinced or not. A big player will be sacrificed this summer. And looking at our team and looking at who could leave the team, I would definitely say that right now, the 24th of March 2023, I would put my money on either Tammy Abraham leaving and being the sacrificable one, or Roger Ibanez. Why do I talk about the both? I think if Tammy doesn't perform in these last months of the season, I think Tammy will be sold. I've said this many times. My heart says no, but my head says yes. My heart says no because I love Tammy Abraham, and maybe I'm not going to cry the day he leaves, but I'm going to be upset because I love him as a player. But my head says yes, because we can monetize a lot. Now, imagine we have a fixed budget that we can use to spend, and imagine you add a potential 60 million euros if we sell Tammy Abraham. That's a big budget. We can get big players overall to improve the entirety of the team. But I think Tammy being sold will depend on both on these last months. Because apparently I've read, and you know, if anyone likes reading about the club, if you're Italian, I advise you to go on Twitter and follow Angelo Mangiante. He does comment in Italian, obviously, but you could use Google Translate. Angelo Mangiante is the Sky Sports Italy representative of Roma. He works every single day around the Roma environment, and Angelo Mangiante is a really good source. Angelo Mangiante is actually a very good friend of Mourinho, so he's a really good source. So if anyone likes reading, further reading, I definitely advise him when it comes to window. And apparently, I've read a few days ago something which Mangiante has said is that Mourinho has already demanded and put a name of a potential striker. He hasn't revealed who the striker is, but Angelo Mangiante has written that Mourinho has told Thiago Pinto who the future striker should be. So that's the first thing which I'll say. I think, excuse me, what the hell is that? A big player will be sacrificed, and that's kind of who we are. We have to sacrifice the big players. I know we already sacrificed Zaniolo this summer, but we didn't monetize as much as we wanted. So I think Abraham and or Ibanez will leave this summer. Other players will also leave. We've got players which I think have to leave the club under the names of Karsdorp. I think not that I've got nothing against him, but after the entire situation around Karsdorp, I just can't see him really. I can't see him have a long future at Roma. Plus, all of these injuries, I think Karsdorp will be sold. I also think Celik could be sold this summer. And we could grow Zalewski on that side and then use the money to buy another left fullback. So I think both or two left fullbacks could be easily sold this summer. I also think Kumbula can get sold this summer. And I also think El Shaarawy has got a big question mark. I would never sell El Shaarawy because I think El Shaarawy is a great player. But El Shaarawy could be sold. So those are the players. Those are the players which I think we will sell this summer. You've got players who are on loan to other teams, which we could also set on permanent deals and monetize from. I know that where does Carles Perez play again? Celta Vigo, right? Is it Celta Vigo? Yeah. Carles Perez is doing well at Celta Vigo, and I'm reading that Celta Vigo want to buy on a permanent move. That's more money added to your budget. Same with Kluivert. Valencia are interested in signing him on a permanent deal, and that could increase the budget. So overall, this fixed budget is going to oscillate. It could be higher, could be lower. The big thing here, and the big thing which I think we will have to know before entering our window, the summer window, and actually preparing the plan for the summer window is the most important thing. It's Champions League football. Because when I say that Champions League football is going to change our summer transfer window, I truly and utterly mean it. There is going to be such a gap in our summer window if we get Champions League football or if we don't get Champions League football. It's going to be a massive gap. It's going to be a massive gap on every single aspect. Budget-wise, UEFA's going to give you a lot of money if you qualify for the Champions League. Attractiveness. You're going to attract big players. So Champions League football is the most important thing. And getting Champions League football can also help you water down the FFP pressure that is being put on us. Which is why we have to kind of move on to speaking about fixed budgets and the players which can sell to increase that budget. When we speak about fixed budgets, we also have to speak about FFP. Because we have a fixed budget, but due to financial fair play reasons, for these next couple of years, we are affected by financial fair play. Not all of the money which we have in this, let's call it a bubble, a fixed budget bubble. Not all of the money can be spent because of restrictions, because of rules, because of FFP rules. Therefore, the big answer to my question, what will Roma's summer transfer window plan be? I've read a lot of articles regarding FFP, regarding Roma's approach to the window, and I've come up with an idea. This is an idea which I just don't have, but a lot of journalists also have. I think this window is gonna work like this, similar to our last window. And I know a lot of people aren't big fans of our last window. I'm not a big fan. I do think we'll spend more money than 7 million, 100%. Especially if we sell players like Tammy. We are going to spend more money. But big priorities are going to be free agents. However, Roma kind of want to counterattack what UEFA have imposed to them. So basically UEFA is saying, right, I'm going to stop you from spending money on the value of players. Because that's effectively what FFP is targeting us. This FFP restriction which has been imposed against us just involves the value of players. But I think Roma is going to counterattack and kind of show revenge to UEFA and go like this. Right, I'm going to be careful. I'm going to respect my FFP rules. I am going to target as many big free agents as possible, because the money which I can't spend in buying players, and when it comes to the value of players, is going to be spent on the salary of players. And that is a massive game plan, because the second we use the money which we can't use for the value of players, and we use that money for salaries, expect massive players to come. Now, I'm going to name 2 players which are free agents this summer. In fact, you know what? I'm going to name 3 players which are free agents this summer. When I name these 3 players, don't necessarily think that I am linking them with Roma. Don't. I'm just naming 3 free agents. This has nothing to do with if we sign them or not. There are going to be, there are plenty of free agents this summer, but I'm going to just name 3. Roberto Firmino, Karim Benzema, and Luka Modric. I'm not by any means saying we'll buy any of them. But all I'm saying is, these are players which earn a lot of money. And the second we use the money which we can't spend on the values of players, and we use that money, that fixed budget which we can't use onto the salaries of players, expect big players. Because there are going to be great free agents this summer. And that, in my opinion, is our plan of this window. We are going to spend money because we're going to get money from European tournaments. Regarding of it being Champions League or Europa League, we're going to get a budget from that. We're going to get budgets from selling players. And if we sell players like Tammy Abraham, we already have a fixed value of around 40, 50, maybe 60, if the dreams want it, million to spend. And that's a lot of money. Because at the end of the day, FFP is affecting us. But FFP is only affecting us on the value of players. FFP is only affecting us when it comes to paying the money to sign the player, not the salaries and stuff. We could offer a player 20 million a month and FFP doesn't affect us, because FFP restrictions are not for salaries. They're for values and just paying the money to sign the player. So that's, I think, the game plan. Now, another important factor, which is a positive factor, is sponsorships. Now, we are moving away from New Balance and we're moving into Adidas. Now, Adidas, I'm pretty sure Americans here call it Adidas. I've never and will never call it Adidas in my life, so I'm sorry if I'm calling it Adidas, but I will never in a million years commit that crime of calling it Adidas. Adidas are going to be your new sponsor next season. So Adidas is gonna bring us money. But again, sponsorships is something complicated. I think Adidas, and just with all of those agreements they have, is gonna bring us money. That's something I'm reading too. So yeah. But that's kind of our summer transfer window plan. Is it going to go like this? No, because I don't come from the future. I don't know what happens. This is just my idea. I think salaries of players is going to be crucial. Because, many players these days only care about money. And obviously Champions League football too, but that's kind of what I'll say. Right, let's talk about Retegui, because Roma are also following Retegui, the guy who scored in yesterday's game against England, which Italy lost 2-1. Look, and Italy's like this. I mean, the media's like this. The guy scores a goal, and the following day, all you read is clubs being interested in this guy. It's pretty ridiculous. It's pretty ridiculous, to be fair, because yes, he scored a goal. Thank God he scored that goal. If he hadn't scored that goal, then there was serious problems. Um, he's going to be a great player. I'm not doubting that, but I think it's very early. Just because he scored a goal, I think the media has to stop linking all of the teams next to him. Um, because I think that's not how it works. I think, and I also think, for the respect of the guy, the guy scored a goal and now he's got the world against him, basically. Sorry, not against him, in favor of him. So I don't like how he scored a goal and everyone now goes, oh, he's the new Cristiano Ronaldo. No, that's not how it works. I mean, saying a few words on Retegui, I respect the guy, but it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that he's a striker. You know, he is. This is nothing against him, but it's ridiculous that the Italian national team's main striker in yesterday's game, is someone not Italian. The guy didn't even know the Italian national anthem. He had a post match interview after the game. He didn't have a clue what he was saying. It's ridiculous. And to be fair, Mancini is right in this. Mancini is right in this, because how can Italian football go forward if Italian clubs don't grow players? You look at the Italian national team and you're like, the main striker is an Argentinian guy. Yeah, call him Italian. He's not Italian. The fact that he has a citizenship doesn't make him Italian. The guy is an Argentinian guy. He is not Italian. So to be fair, it's also and I think it's also, and this is the reason why the Italian national team is living a bad moment. We're going through a generational change, but it's again, I don't want to say much because I respect the guy. I've got nothing against him, but I also think it's losing a lot of respect to players like Scamacca. Like, Mancini has effectively during yesterday's game, Mancini has effectively told Scamacca, well, you're Italian, you're a striker, however, I'm not going to start you because I'm starting an Argentinian. And Scamacca has all the rights to go, what the fuck am I here for? I am Italian, the guy is Argentinian, and yet the Argentinian guy plays in the Italian national team. It makes no sense. I mean, same with Jorginho. Jorginho's the same. Jorginho's not Italian. Jorginho's Brazilian. Jorginho is Italian just because he speaks a few words in Italian, but Jorginho has nothing Italian in him. And I think until it will be like this, we're not gonna go anywhere. Forget about winning the Euros. Forget about even qualifying for the World Cup. We've got a good team. I think we've got one of the best midfielders out there, but I think it's the philosophy which lacks in the Italian national team right now, because it's the Italian national team and we've got an Argentinian and a Brazilian player playing in it. So, and Toloi too. Toloi is maybe a bit more Italian than the other two, but Toloi is another Brazilian players. It's not an Italian national team. Don't call it Italian national team if all of these players are starting. It's sad. It's sad. As an Italian, it's sad because this national team is not going to go anywhere. We're going through a generational change. It's very normal for a national team to go through a generational change. You just won the Euros you had a great team. You had great leadership. Chiellini and Bonucci in defense. Chiesa in his prime. It's sad. It's sad seeing this Italian national team. But it is what it is. I mean, Mancini gave him a call up. Mancini decided to start him. So yeah, I don't know where we're going. I mean, look, are we even going to get the Euros? I'm not that convinced. I'm really not that convinced. I mean, yeah, well, hopefully, fingers crossed we're going to get in it. England and Italy are the top favourites, but North Macedonia beat Italy 1 year ago, so everything can happen. And if Italy don't qualify for the Euros, it's just sad. It's depressing. The Euro qualifiers just started, so We've got Malta on Sunday, I believe. But I just think the philosophy around the Italian national team is what lacks right now. Mentality too, and Mancini is not. Again, Mancini on a human level isn't living a great moment. He just lost his best friend. He lost his best friend, which sat next to him when we won against England on penalties. So it's not a great moment for it. And I also think that Gianluca Vialli's death has created a shadow around the Italian team. He was not only a great player, he was, as described by many Italian national team current players, he was like a father. Mancini is not living a great moment on a human level, and I think the Italian national team is not living a great moment. But football's like that. Football has moments. Football is a roller coaster. And yeah, on to Malta we go. Right. The last thing April's schedule is an important schedule. I'm not gonna get into it today. I'm gonna speak about it tomorrow. I'm gonna catch you tomorrow. If you haven't already, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments all of your opinions on the topics that we discussed today. The transfer plan, Retegui, the Italian national team. Feel free to let me know down below. I'll be very curious to read and respond to all of your comments. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram, and turn the bell notification on so you'll be notified every time I go live or post a video. And yeah, everyone, before getting away from the stream, don't forget to smash that like button. It's free of cost and supports me a lot. So please do it. You're very welcome on this channel. And yeah, I'll catch you very, very soon. Yeah, it's just an insult that he starts in his first call-up. The national team seems hopeless at the moment. Mancini should have stepped down after the loss to North Macedonia. And I really like Mancini. I like Mancini and I feel bad for him for what has happened to him. I think he's a great coach. And I don't think it's Mancini's fault. I don't think you can blame Mancini for it. What has to be blamed for this bad Italian football moment is the Italian football society. Because if you've got teams who don't grow their own players, the Italian national team is going to be the first which will feel the consequences of it. Mancini is right when it comes to blaming all Serie A clubs. The Macedonian loss was as a disgrace, but I respect the guy. He's gone through a lot lately, so yeah. On to Malta we go. Up to Italy, obviously. Forza Azzurri. And dai Roma. And I'll catch you soon. Subscribe and smash the like button. Simon, out.